All right, welcome to Good Times with Alex and Ryan. My name's Ryan Sprague. You can follow me on any social media at Ryan W. Sprague. Alex.
What's going on? You can follow me on Twitter at Vandollar15. You can follow me on YouTube at Alex Vanover. And you can follow me on the Instagram, my favorite social media, at Alex Vanover15. And Ryan, it's a big day today because we have a very special guest.
Our first guest on this program.
Well, Diana Sprague was the first guest, but this is our first guest that you haven't slept with, Ryan.
Hey, do we know that?
I guess.
Wow.
I shouldn't have assumed that. I shouldn't have assumed that.
We slept in the same RV one time.
Hey, special guest today, Mike Richardson, former Bangor Bearcat, former North Bend Junior High Bull Pup, and former North Bend High School alum and 2001 Boy of the Year, Michael John Richardson, has joined the Good Times Gang podcast.
Oh, give it up. Give it up.
Man, I feel good about myself.
Hey, before we get going too far, all you Good Times Gang people, make sure to hit that subscribe, follow, or whatever program you're on. And also hit for post notifications, which, like on YouTube, is ringing that bell.
Hey, Mikey, the people in the chat are telling you to turn your mic up.
Well, I'm trying. Let's see. We'll keep going up. I'll just talk loud.
Or hold the piece to your mouth or whatever you want to do.
We'll go like this. How about that?
That is way better.
Okay, guys. We're ready to roll.
We're ready
to
rock
Ryan.
And roll. Okay, let's get started.
What episode are we doing today, buddy?
We're doing an episode on junior high.
Oh my god, Ryan, Mike, what do you think? Was junior high a better experience than grade school? What are you thinking?
Absolutely.
Not for me.
Ryan, I was blessed to meet Alex in grade school, but really got to hang out with him when we started doing junior high. So it was an exciting time for me. So this is going to be a fun episode. I'm ready for this.
All right.
I'm ready for this.
Ryan, when you were in junior high, you had just finished cleaning the milk off your face and getting the pee out of your pants when you showed up there, huh, bud?
Yeah, well, maybe. Because, I tried out for the football team, and maybe I was those type of kids. And I was on the B team, and basically, all we did in practice was run around, and someone would tackle me, and they would try to treat me like that kid. But I was also strong, so it didn't really work for them because I would swim a lot, and I was pretty muscular. But
yeah, you had that Snickers candy bar power. You were just like constantly filled up on Snickers, so you were able to hold off the attacks. Is that what you were saying?
Pretty much.
Ryan, Mike is famous in junior high football. Mike pulled a big-time move on Mr. Johnson in 7th grade.
Oh,
he chose a trip to the Magic Kingdom over a game against Millicoma. Mike, why don't you tell the Good Times audience about that?
Yeah, so I had a chance to go to Disneyland or practice, so I didn't go to practice and didn't play. And the best part is, this will tell you that we're in a different time period. As soon as I got back, the first day I was back at practice, they did the Oklahoma drill on me. So, as you know, that would not be something you could do to kids these days. They'd probably get arrested. But
I'm afraid to ask.
Mike showed up to the practice with the mouse ears and a big elephant ear, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm ready for the game, baby."
I walked out of the tunnel like Rudy does in his last practice, but there was no clapping or cheering. They're
like, "That son of a bitch is back. We're gonna fit him into the rotation."
We had a great time with Mickey.
He walks out. He's like, MICKEY MOUSE.
Oh, he was like this. BENCHED. I am benched again. Hey, so Mike was actually on the poopy list with me for a while because of that trip, because he took Anthony to Disneyland instead of me.
Oh,
yeah, that I know. But you know what, Ryan? Hindsight's 2020, because there's no way I could have afforded that trip to begin with. So Mike made the right decision without having to embarrass me. So way to go, Mike.
Nice job.
Don't worry, there's many years of trips to not bring you on.
There's plenty of more trips in the future that I won't invite you to. Well, no, the trip we took to WrestleMania in San Jose, Mike, was actually.
Oh, you guys went?
Oh yeah, we went to WrestleMania, and it was
cool.
actually pretty cool because Mike, let me go on this trip, but during the trip, he wouldn't actually let me stop anywhere I wanted to be at. So Mike had to just keep that little bit of control over me, during the trip because he's been doing it since we were 12, so that's good.
It's kind of gone down in friendship history, that entire trip. That'll be for another podcast. But
Ryan,
man,
entering the chat, We have a 4-way chat right now. We're talking about junior high. Papa Dom himself has joined the Good Times gang. He's in the bottom right of the screen. Papa Dom from What's for Dinner podcast has entered the chat, entered the show to talk about junior high. Welcome to the show, Domingo.
Thank you. Well, gentlemen, first off, it wouldn't be a good time unless I got my good time.
Oh, no! Hell yeah!
Heck yeah!
Dude, take a photo, dude. We need to post that on the website.
I will. So you guys won me over because I'm a sucker for a long sleeve T-shirt. I love long sleeves. You can put anything on that long sleeve and I will wear it because I don't know. I think they look good with shorts or pants. You could sleep in them. Like it's a multitask shirt. So thank you for that.
Domingo, is your name Amateur Hammocker?
I'm full of surprises. Yes, it is.
Oh my God, dude. So Ryan,
so Domingo, or what do you want to go by? Amateur Hammocker?
Please. We're back in North Bend, guys. Just call me Domingo.
Okay.
All right.
You were actually scheduled for the next episode.
Hey,
but
he's
since
fine.
You popped on, we're having good times.
Hey, Ryan, I'm making an executive decision. I need your backing, dude.
You're awesome, dude.
I want both
I'm just letting you know what's going on and why we're laughing so much.
Ryan, I want both these guys for the next episode.
It's awesome, dude. It's okay.
I'm early. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, dude.
Awesome.
I love it, dude. We have 3 different classes, by the way. Me and Mike are 01. Ryan's 02. Domingo, you were 2003. Okay. Well, dude, we got like sophomore, junior, senior class.
we do.
And hey, man, the good thing about this is I was actually taking sophomore classes as a senior, so Domingo and I had a bunch of classes together. Probably.
I felt like I followed in your footsteps, Alex, because when I was a senior, I had classes with
I was like, I can't be bothered with class when I can take this 3 years down the road for the 3rd time. Get the hell out of my face.
Math wasn't my strongest subject.
Ryan, dude. So let's get into junior high a little bit, dude. Let's talk about everybody's plan, just like we did with high school. Let's talk about each one of our plans when they got into junior high. What were you hoping to achieve and what were you scared of? Domingo, let's start with you.
Well, my plan wasn't what I did, but my brother was a year ahead of me, and he was in Ryan's grade, and I left all of my friends from grade school to go hang out with my 8th grade brother. And then I met some other kids from different schools because I left all my Bearcats behind like a giant jerk.
Left all the Bearcats to just rot in the asbestos-filled building that got condemned a couple years later.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys got. Like,
Mikey.
Yes.
Oh wait, go ahead. Go ahead, Dom.
I don't really know what my go-to plan was. Just like, don't suck. I mean. Watched the Wonder Years. You saw how Kevin Arnold handled the first day with this boy. Like, you don't want to suck. And like, I mean, I remember a lot of people, I guess, remember me because I'd always say yada, 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 which, I mean, it's what I did, I guess.
A lot of Seinfeld influence, huh?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Dude, Mikey.
Yeah.
So I remember when we started junior high, I was super nervous about remembering my locker combination.
Yes, I remember.
So
that.
my mom told my brother to like go take Alex over there and make sure he can open his, GD locker or it's your ass. So the whole time we go over there, Aaron's pissed he's got to walk me over there, and he's pissed he's showing me how to open the locker super fast. And then I didn't remember how to do it, obviously, because he didn't show me very quick, well. And then, of course, I screwed it up the next day and couldn't get into my freaking locker, even though my brother got in there and put my stuff in there. So I wasn't able to get my books or anything that was in there from the prior day.
What a nightmare.
Yeah, so I was going to the first class with no books because I couldn't open it because my brother opened it and I didn't know how to do it. So I had to have hey, Mr. Forster, can you please, open this locker for me because I'm an idiot on my first day. That was a terrible situation. Mike, did you have any luck with opening your locker the first day?
You had me so freaked out about the locker combination thing. I still remember my 7th and 8th grade locker combination.
What?
1937, 13, 20, 38, 16. So I
Get the hell out of here.
I was so freaked out because of you. And then, of course, I didn't even want to chance putting stuff in my locker that first day, so I stuffed that backpack so full. It was the JanSport made for kids that didn't remember their locker combination. It just jettisons that like 15 feet behind you. You walk way sideways.
So you would carry all your books in the backpack
for at least a couple of days until I finally go, well, I'm going to try this locker
punch
thing.
back in. Oh my gosh.
That is ridiculous. Ryan, dude. Ryan, did you remember your combo or what?
I don't remember my combo. What I remember is I was also scared because I was like, man, we have to go to all these classes. I'm going to forget my classes, and I'm going to forget my combo, and I don't know where I'm going.
That's the real world, guys. That's the real world.
It really is.
They pump fear into you at an early age.
Apparently. I was like, it's like this big H, and luckily, like one big class was 1 year was on one side and 1 year was on the other, so it was a little harder to get lost. But I think my biggest memorable class was probably home ec.
Home ec, the freaking class where Ryan Gall had this when I walked in with green sweatpants and a red shirt, and he said, "Ho ho ho, Vanover! Didn't know it was Christmas in September, bud."
Shit.
Just put me on blast. I've told this story many times, but it left a burning image on me. Like, it was terrible, man. There was girls all over the place. Ostie Wallace is on the corner. Julia Cayley's over there. Freaking Jesse Stevens, all these other girls, and like Ryan's just lighting me up in front of everybody. I just look like a moron.
He really roasted you, dude.
Oh, he roasted the living piss out of me, dude.
So I remember my locker neighbors.
You're just peeking over like, in case.
Did you borrow sugar from them and stuff? How did that work? Tell me about this.
Like it helped. Yeah, like Ryan said, like I remember who's next to me, so I know that's my locker. In 8th grade, Levi Wart was next, like 5 away from me, and he'd always go, "Hey, neighbor number 5." And it was just like, that's burnt in my mind. And like to this day, I haven't talked to Levi in years, but like whenever we'd see each other, he'd be like, "Neighbor number 5." Like, it's kind of neat to have that little, catch that.
Yeah.
That was, But, and then in 7th grade, next to me was Katie Watson. I remember that.
Ooh, that's not a bad neighbor to have back then, bud.
She came to visit me a few years ago here in Kansas.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Did she bring some Genos, huh?
Right? She should have imported that. Well, no, she was visiting a friend on Fort Riley, which is 20 minutes away, and was like, "How far are you away from there?" And I was like, "Oh, 20 minutes." She's like, "Okay, I guess we're partying down in Aggieville." It's like, "Oh, I DJ down there." So that was fun to have like an old friend from back home to come down to boogie down with me back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Domingo,
Yes.
we didn't introduce you like too much. Like where can we follow you? Like where can and all that stuff. What are you doing? Like you doing influencer stuff and DJing and all that?
Oh, I retired as a DJ after 11 years.
Oh.
Due to racism in the office.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I had a great career doing it up until recently. But I'm mostly on Instagram and Snapchat because I think that's just the spot to be. I like to share my memories on Facebook, but Papa Dom the Beard on IG. I try to be as positive as Mr. Van Dollar if I can. I just like sharing fun things, and I the hashtag amateur hammocker. I'm a up and coming hammocker, and aspiring tambourine player, disc golf enthusiast.
Yeah.
Hey, disc golf.
I'm just trying to live a fucking, excuse my language, a really,
That's gonna be hard to find. I think we just have to put the explicit on this one.
Yeah, I dropped the F-bomb earlier too.
but I just try to live like I work a Monday through Friday cutting trees for a living, and I love it, and it's helped me put me in shape and gain motivation back. And yeah, so the weekends I just want to spend my days outside, hammocking and playing disc golf and playing tambourine.
Awesome.
Not all at the same time.
Do you make music since you were a DJ? Can you make music?
Like as a producer, no,
Yeah.
but I've got a pretty good ear. I could win Name That Tune. I'm pretty certain Rock and Roll Jeopardy.
Yeah.
I can, like, I have, what do I got here? I got some percussion. I got my tambourine. I got some congos or some bongos. I got a shaker. I got a kabasa. So I try to bring a little spice to music. I've played in a band with my oldest brother when he lived out here years ago. We played like classic rock, butt rock music. It was fun.
Yeah.
But like as a DJ, like production, no. I love remixing music though. That's my thing.
Yeah.
Mikey, dude, you were in the band in junior high, weren't you, buddy?
Oh yeah, I was a legend from a young age.
What chair were you?
Well, definitely not first. I was always always like a third chair. Like I could play and I could read the music, but I was never. I didn't want to practice at home. Like it just never anything I wanted to do. So it was like I kind of got this figured out, but we're not going to go beyond this. I mean, this isn't going to be a career path for me. But we only got one. Remember, we only got one elective. That was like the first time. Junior high is the first time we got an elective.
Yeah.
So you had to pick something to take, and I chose band.
That's not a bad choice.
Yeah, I don't remember the one elective thing. I guess I must have chose like team sports or something. I don't remember at all what I chose. I have no idea what I chose.
Home ec.
Art with Mr. Conrad.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
That was yours.
Yes, I took art. I took art with Mr. Conrad. I remember, dude, I was in that art class. They used to have the special needs kids come in and do art class. And I was washing out my utensils, and one of the kids grabbed my arm with like superhuman strength, man. And like I was pretty sure he was gonna rip my arm off in that art class. So Mr. Conrad was like, "Hey, Ronnie, don't grab Alex's arm. That's not cool, man." And then the kid just let my arm go. Mr. Conrad was able to just diffuse the situation in one sentence.
That was a really good Mr. Conrad impression.
I was going to say, that's very impressive.
He's all, "Hey, Domingo, hey, buddy, did you finish your paper mache mask yet, buddy, huh?"
He
Hey,
used to have
Mike.
in 7th grade art, he had that one like photo or like piece of work that like he would write your name in it. It was all squiggly lines
Yes.
and you would
Yes.
color it. That was pretty rad.
It was like you would start your name and you'd go around it, and then the inside outlines would be colored black, right? Am I right on that?
Something or other. I'm not sure about
Calligraphy or something like that?
No, not calligraphy. It was like it looked like just a giant. It was made with one line.
Okay.
That was the, I think the format of art there.
That was his way of just like, "Kids, do this and shut the hell up while I'm doing something. I'm busy. I'm hungover as hell from last night."
Yeah. Some of our teachers were drinkers. Now that I think about it.
The Stoffels, I'm sure, had their fair share. Mike, I'm pretty sure Mr. Stoffel was partaking in some THC
He was
before it was legal.
He's a thespian, man. Getting inspired.
All of his good ideas.
Mike, what was the weirdest hall pass that you had to use in junior high? Think back to the hall passes.
Oh my gosh. First of all, such a weird concept because
hold up the side.
Bangor was like the ultimate just trustworthy spot. You could go anywhere. You could be like, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. No problem. You do that in junior high, there's a lot of questions. And maybe it's the other schools because, our junior high was a combination of the 4 grade schools. And so we had all these kids from North Bay and Hillcrest and Roosevelt and Bangor. And luckily for some of us, we did sports or extracurricular, so we knew some of the kids. But you also knew the kids that like, well, this guy's just, I'm not going to get caught around this guy.
This guy's up to no good. I could just tell by where he sits at lunch.
Yeah, he would never be in the good times gang.
No, and the worst part is we were never wrong. Like, see, you look back today, like, oh man, that didn't work out. But I would say probably the weirdest hall pass I had to use was when I was in Miss Hockema's class. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, she was a good basketball player.
And I had to escort somebody from that class to the nurse's office area because they were vomiting just profusely. And I was asked to take them. I don't know why I was asked, but I think it's because I was somewhere near them and didn't look completely scared. And so I had to walk them down the hallway as they just continued to throw up. I'm like, why is a kid walking another kid down the hallway? And as I'm coming back by, they've got that weird mint smelling powder stuff they're throwing all over the people.
I remember that.
Like it would pile up and they would like sweep it up into the broom.
It smelled like the bucket thing.
It smelled like Pepto-Bismol met sawdust. It was just the worst, one of the worst smells ever. That was probably the weirdest pass I had to take. What about you, Alex?
I asked you that because when I was taking outdoor ed with Mr. Forster and Mr. Lucero, I had to, like, if you had to go to the bathroom, they would give you a hall pass. They'd totally trust you. But the problem is, they knew the hall pass they're giving you. You're not getting very far with this freaking thing. I got like a 4-point elk rack. That was the hall pass. So I'm walking to go to the bathroom carrying like a full like rack of antlers, trying like through the hall, trying to get to the bathroom. There's nowhere to set that thing when you go into the bathroom, and I'm taking crap from everybody as I'm walking down the hallway. They're like, "Oh, there's Vanover. Like that fat ass probably ate the whole elk before he went into the bathroom." So I'm taking crap the whole time. It's heavy, and they know I'm not going anywhere with this damn thing. But I just remember carrying that rack of antler, whatever.
That was Mr. Forster.
Yes, Forster.
I remember he pulled this stunt. We were in we were in PE, right? He was PE, and he's like told this story about how he hit someone or something. He's like, "Yeah, that was made up. I just did that to see how long I could go before someone told on me, and it was about 15 minutes."
Dude, you could never get away with doing something like that nowadays. They just fire you.
When I was in 7th or 8th grade, there was a set of brothers that were also like, one was in my grade, one was a year below us. Mr. Dismay smacked one of them with a ruler. You guys know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know exactly the whole thing, man.
Yeah, and like they made a big old stink about it. But yeah, nowadays you can't do that. When I worked on Fort Riley here in childcare, I taught performing arts to kindergarten through 5th graders. You'd write up incident reports for these kids. And there's this one time, and coincidentally, you said Ronnie. It was this kid named Ronnie. He got in trouble, was lipping off, and his mom came and talked to me about it. He interrupted his mom. She smacked him in this government building on Fort Riley, this military installation. She smacks him. There's cameras all over the place. I'm like, hey, you can't do that. She's like, call up the MPs. Like, that was the last time I saw someone hit a child in public, I think in 2009.
Jeez, man.
2008.
Dude, Mr. Forster, Domingo, is famous with Mike and I for many, many reasons, and I'm actually really glad we started talking about him because we are going to call this segment Mr. Forster's founding whatever. I don't even know. This is just the Mr. Forster segment. Mike, tell Domingo and Ryan about the trip, how we got to go on the trip to Sutherland. Yeah. And what happened on the trip to Sutherland, because this is crazy.
So it's funny you mentioned Sutherland because we probably shouldn't have even gone there. Because, so Ryan, you guys have talked about your drives you've taken in the past, and your fast, crazy trips. And if you were going to drive to Cottage Grove, what road would you take?
You go up to the you go to 5, right? You get to 5 and go down, or
so you're going to drive 38.
Yeah, 38. Yeah, that's what I mean. Go that way, 38.
Okay, so you're not going to drive an hour and a half out of the way south through Roseburg.
No,
So that's what we did. So
Wow.
we took one of the we used to call them the turds, the brown
Yeah.
the
The
activity
flying
buses.
turds.
Yep, and it had 12 seats on it, and we had 13 players on the JV team we were on. We had so many JV basketball players that we actually had colors. So we were the blue team, and there was the yellow team. We were blue. So there was about 5 of us who obviously were not good at basketball. I being one of those. And so Mr. Forrester offered a prize of whoever goes and gets me a Diet Pepsi gets to go on this trip. And if you don't get to go.
Oh, sounds like him, totally.
Use your money to go get me a Diet Pepsi so you can go on this basketball trip to ride the bench. So one kid, Kevin Roberts, decided, well, I don't want to go anyway. So he made that easy.
He just left.
But we still got him a Diet Pepsi in hopes that it would give us some playing time. We take this crazy long drive, and he pointed out every restaurant, eatery, roadside stand, a place he had a snack, the whole entire trip. We get to Sutherland, and we stop at Taco Time. There's a Taco Time in Sutherland for a bathroom break. And
Right by that tiger in Sutherland, the statue.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
in Winston. Sorry, in Winston.
Winston, yeah.
In Winston.
Oh, Winston, yes.
And he goes, nobody gets anything, but you can go to the bathroom here. So we all get out and go to the Taco Time and just go use the bathroom, except for one player. That was Mike Lowe. And Mike Lowe went in there and got himself, I don't know, crisp meat burritos, jug of sauce, just
Taco.
everything he can get. And
Mexi fries, large one.
Forrester sees him walking back towards the bus, and he just immediately grabs the bag of food and says, "Thanks."
Dude, Forrester was man, he was pretty rough now that I think about all that. Like he did something with, like, I remember the Pepsi thing, like getting him a Diet Pepsi. He made Dave Varjon like run a lap as fast as he could once, so like the class could stop running or something.
Alex made a 3-pointer in that game, and it hit the backboard and went in. And being such a great guy and coach, he told him it was only worth 2 because he didn't call bank.
It was like the only bucket I had made in the first 8 games too.
That's
Mike,
not even the best basketball Forrester story.
Tell him about the free throws.
Oh gosh. So we were in practice, and he would make us run if we didn't make all the free throws. So everybody had to line up and shoot a free throw and make one. And we were gassed. It was a long practice. And for some reason, 11 guys get up there and just bury a free throw. And we are just so happy that we get to end practice. We're so tired. And then poor Adam Kohler gets up there and just, it was miss after miss after miss after miss.
Oh.
Lap after lap after lap. My favorite Forrester basketball story, though, had to be when we did the postseason tournament. So the group of us, including Alex, who didn't get to play much and weren't very good, we were sitting on the bench. And when I think of great coach speeches, I think Vince Lombardi, Newt Rockne, and then there's Mike Forrester. He looked at us all in the eyes, looked us deep in the eyes, and he goes, "You 5, I'm starting you. Alex, you're point guard. You complain about not getting the ball, you're going to have it the whole time. When you're down 10, I'm calling timeout. You guys are benched." And then he put us in the game. And he lied. And he lied because it was 12-0 when he called timeout.
I couldn't even get the ball up court. It was never stolen.
You had never played point guard in your life.
I was always the 3. I was always just coming off screens trying to hit a shot. I had never dribbled to that point. Guys, I want to tell one really quick Forster story, and this isn't basketball related. So I wanted to tell this on my Instagram walk stories so bad, Domingo, but I didn't. I didn't because I was afraid how people would react to it because it's kind of a crazy story. So
it's 2020, man. We're calling people out.
Yeah. Okay. So it's 2020 now. I'm telling it.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Baldwin lived on Lewis Street in North Bend, and he had an apple tree. So in the apple tree, he had like dozens and dozens of pigeons that would come and try to eat apples. Okay. So one day in outdoor ed class, Mr. Forster says to the class, if any of you can somehow get me a pigeon, I'll give you $50, and I want to use it to train my dog to hunt, right? So I go up to Mr. Forster and I say, listen,
oh man,
my friend Mackenzie has pigeons in his yard all the time. We'll get you a pigeon if you'll give us the $50. So Mr. Forster says, all right, get your ass over here, Vanover. Let me finish this Diet Pepsi. We'll talk about things after class. All right, get over here.
That is a good Forster impression.
Yeah. So he says, hey, get over here, Vanover. I'll give you and Baldwin $50 if you get this pigeon for me. Now I want you to bring it to my house in a bag once you get it, and then I'll give you the money. So I go to Mackenzie and I say, listen, dude, you got a pellet gun? Pump that sucker up 10 times. We're killing a pigeon. So Mackenzie's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna kill this pigeon. We'll split the money.
Gosh.
We kill this pigeon, okay? We go up to Forster's house with the pigeon in the bag. Mr. Forster has the biggest smile I've ever seen in my entire life. He says, hey, you guys came through. You guys came through, bud. You got me the pigeon. Thanks a lot. And he starts closing the door in our face. And Mackenzie says, Mr. Forster, we got you your pigeon. What about the $50 you promised us? And Forster turns around. He has a completely filthy scowl on his face. And he says, listen, guys, killing a pigeon in city limits is illegal. Be lucky I don't turn you guys into the police department. Slams the door in our face, and that was the end of it. This is a true story.
Okay, well.
This happened.
Why am I not? I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked.
He's not saying, and he feels bad for killing the pigeon, everybody. It's not.
We did this when we were like 12, and at the time, it wasn't that.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Okay, it happened.
Hey.
But Forster pulled the rug from underneath us, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. If you bring it up to Mackenzie to this day, who counts every penny he's ever been shorted, he will vividly remember the day Forster slammed the door in his face over $50.
He was like, it was mid-May. A Thursday night.
There was a chill in the air.
I was wearing brown pants. Alex, you had a hat on.
Mackenzie had already spent the $25 in his head, and the dream was over in that instant.
Yeah.
That's a crushed dream. Oh.
Yeah, that happened. I wanted to tell that story so bad on my Instagram, and I'm like, well, I don't really want to, make people upset. But we're in the right situation. I'm telling it. Mike, tell.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of having money in junior high,
yes,
one of the biggest things for us was having money to go to Taco Bell or McDonald's.
Absolutely.
So Mike's kind of got a story in his back pocket about one of our McDonald's trips. Mike, you have the floor.
That was during junior high?
Yes.
During junior high.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was off-campus eating, but all right.
No. This was like when we were hanging out at Mackenzie's.
After school situation.
Sorry, caught up.
So this was in the summertime, and we always stayed over at Mackenzie's. And like Alex has mentioned in the podcast before, as a kid, his whole mindset was, how am I going to get McDonald's, and when are we going to McDonald's? We always kind of had a plan, and you guys remember the Monopoly pieces. It was like the greatest thing for kids, because I don't know about you, but I would be just as excited to get the $1 million piece as I would to get the free Egg McMuffin meal. Because I'm like, I'm redeeming this immediately. So we would collect them, and we would have them and be all excited to go out to eat for free at McDonald's. So we had our breakfast and our lunch all ready to go this Saturday morning. So we wake up. Alex wakes us up because that's how it worked. He was he would hit you with a pillow like Canseco is hitting a belt high fastball.
They're open. Let's go.
Literally. So we would straggle, and it's probably about 10 o'clock finally when we get down there, and we all have our little free breakfast. So we're cashing them in, and we're kids, so we don't drink coffee yet, so we're getting soda out of the machine. I remember just sitting there eating, and then we go, and you top off your soda before you take off, because that's one of the greatest benefits of having the fountain right there. And so Mackenzie lived right by McDonald's, just a couple blocks away. So we walked out, and we ventured for a little bit, probably went by Kingsview and did something we weren't supposed to do. And then probably about 45 minutes later, it's like not even 11 o'clock. And we're like, all right, let's go back to McDonald's. I mean, we got our lunch cash in. So let's go get 3 Big Macs, quarter pounders. So we walk in there, and Alex is the first one to go up to the counter, and he's like trying to order what he wants, and he's got his coupon. And the guy at the counter immediately says, "Sir, you only can redeem one of these per dining room visit, and you have already you're still on your dining room visit." And Alex is like, "What's a dining room visit?" He goes, "You have to wait 2 hours in order to be able to get another meal for free." And he goes, "Okay." So he walks over to the drink machine again and starts filling up his Coke. And the guy's like, "Sir, you can't do that." And he goes, "Why? I'm on the same dining room visit. What's the problem?"
Nice. That's awesome.
Alex is using the logic well.
That was really good. That was gangster right there.
King for a day. That was king for a day move right there, man.
That's awesome.
Don't worry, we came back at 12 and got our lunch too.
Well, I'm on the same time.
Mike, he looked, and like when I said that to him, he was like an 18-year-old kid, working a part-time job. He looked just like the guy in Superbad when McLovin spills the beer all over the liquor store floor. He's like, exactly, "Sir, did you spill these?" It's like, "No, and you better clean that stuff up too." And he's like FML, like, oh. Like when I said that to him, you could tell his spirit was broken that day.
Oh man. There's a lot of good stories with us going out to fast food, that's for sure.
Everything involved fast food, or how we could talk to a girl, or how, like, do you guys remember in junior high when people started holding hands for the first time?
Yeah. And
like walking around the halls?
I touched an 8th grader's boobs in 7th grade.
Okay, first of all, how did this happen? Where were you? And what was the situation?
Don't use any names.
Oh no, I know exactly who it was. So behind, like, where the science room was, Mr. Johnson's science room, there was that little hill, and there was some back streets over there.
Yes.
This 8th grade girl, she was a friend of a friend. It's like, "Hey, let's go hang out after school." I was like, "Cool, I got a few minutes." And we made out, and like she put my hands up her shirt, and they were just as immaculate, like a bag of sand,
The jackpot, dude. You were touching boobies in 8th grade. I don't think I touched a boob until
7th grade.
No, 7th grade. I don't think I actually got to touch a boob till like junior year, man. Like, I got a kiss from Becky Warnkin because she was my first girlfriend in high school.
She was cool.
And my next class was weights. So I was 16 years old. I just got my first kiss. It's like 3rd period. I have to go to weights now with the biggest erection I've ever had in my entire life. I'm trying to dress down. I can't even get my pants off because they're just stuck. I'm trying to go to weights class. Of course I'm late. And then Mr. Armstrong's like, "Hey, get your ass up here, man. Over. We got plenty of laps because the Mariners lost last night. So, wrangle that boner of yours, man, over here. Let's get to work.
Pick up your dick beaters. Let's get out."
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, that's a true story, man. That happened. Like, he's like, "All right, man, over here. Like, I'm tired of looking at you in that massive erection. Get to work."
That's Alex's second best PE coach.
Wait, what?
That's only your second best PE coach impression.
Oh, yeah, I did force. Hey, get over here.
Oh, and you got McKenna.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Callie's for ya. Do your core lifts. Don't pull a muscle. Turn the music down. I wrote a song in high school about Mr. McKenna telling us to turn the music down.
Stop it. No, you didn't.
Yes, I wrote a rap song about Mr. McKenna. Instead of California Love, it was Callie's for ya. because he's gonna make you do calisthenics.
Calisthenics.
No doubt about it.
Don't pull a muscle.
Does everybody remember their first junior high crush?
Yeah.
It followed me from Bangor.
Oh, snap, Domingo.
As did mine.
Yeah.
Domingo, enlighten the group.
It was a girl I was in school with from first grade to senior year of high school. She is now married and has a beautiful big family, and I'm cool with that. My lifestyle is completely different than hers, so it's yeah. I don't think I would have been fit for that if the crush became the married, you know.
Mikey, who I know who your crush was, but why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, Jonna Sparks for sure. I mean,
she was so pretty.
6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Then she moved out of my life, and it was like the movie Can't Hardly Wait, except I just did wait and I never said anything. So,
the movie's just called Waiting.
It's just called Waiting, and I just didn't do anything about it.
I was friends with her sister Heather.
Heather was nice too.
Super
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
John,
they lived over
on State Street.
Yeah, they lived by the Lionhead Fountain Park.
They did.
We are creeps. They lived.
Ryan, who was your crush at junior high, Ryan?
Someone.
The person.
She sounds hot, Ryan. She sounds so hot.
Dude, that's attractive woman.
Yeah, can you tell me more about her?
She had hair, eyes.
She had a pulse. She breathed oxygen.
Tell me about her fingers. What did she eat at lunch?
Oh, dude. Hey, so junior high, I had two crushes. The first one was Katie Russo, of all people. Katie Russo. She was in my English history class with Mrs. Sweat, and she was dating Ben Leichner, I think, one of the twins.
Leichners.
Yeah, one of the Leichners. And I remember teasing her all the time. And as a matter of fact, I think she signed her yearbook, or my yearbook, as Katie Leichner. Because I used to tease her all the time. I'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing, Mrs. Leichner? But secretly, I wanted her to be Mrs. Vanover. But that didn't work out. And then also later on, Larissa Scar. She went to Hillcrest, right? So we didn't know her. But I was down at the Pony Village Mall because Domingo and I lived right next to the mall.
Yeah, block away.
Yeah, so I was down there, and I was probably at the candy corn trying to get a burger basket, maybe play some Street Fighter. And there was a place in the mall called the Pog Stop. Do you guys remember? You could buy Pog.
Oh, yeah.
The Pog Stop.
A whole store.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Yes.
That was that big.
So I went down to the Pog Stop, and I was buying Pogs, and Larissa Scar and Kayla Colvin were there, and I ended up walking around the mall. And, Larissa was flirting with me, but this is before I knew what flirting was. I had no idea what flirting was. No clue. Because I'm 11, dude. I'm trying to get these Pogs. I'm trying to get this burger basket. I'm trying to get back home to my Oakland A's jacket, dude. I'm busy, right?
You telling me you couldn't read the signs of
No. Domingo, no. I was
You
totally
couldn't take a hint?
Dude, so a couple years later, it dawns on me, dude. I'm in the middle of, doing whatever I'm doing, killing a pigeon for Forster, and I'm like, huh?
I've been there.
I'm like that. She was totally flirting with me. So of course I developed a crush on her because it's like whenever, especially at that age, if a girl's interested in you, it doesn't matter what she looks like. You're interested in her because now she's attainable, right?
Yeah.
At least that's how I thought when I was like 12 or 13. But by that point, she had dated like basically every thug in the school, and basically, if you went around her, you're going to get your ass kicked for even going around this girl because she dated like everybody that could whoop some ass, right? She probably dated Ronnie Beaver. She was like ran through Drew Davis, Steve
man.
Probably Travis, all these guys, right? So I'm not going near that. So anyway, nothing ever happened, man. Totally blew it. Katie never happened. Nothing happened with that. Friend zoned for life.
You didn't shoot the shot.
Never shot. Amy Clark, I shot the shot, and I got rejected. She matumboed me, Domingo.
No, not today.
Oh man.
That's
Hey.
good stuff.
Domingo, what stands out about junior high for you, man? Did you like it or did you not like it?
I enjoyed it because like it was just a whole new group of people, and like the sports were fun from what I remember. Mr. Lampy was the 7th grade coach for football. I remember that, and a lot of those dudes that I grew up from that team, like I officiated one of their weddings, Jeff Caldwell.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a good time. His anniversary is coming up on the 11th. National Slurpee Day. Can't forget that. I drive 1 hour away to grab a Slurpee every year, guys. So, like, and it's worth it. I grab the biggest Slurpee. I don't go for the little one. I'm there for the big, and I drink it all the way home.
Oh,
Dude.
good. I
Junior
remember.
high. Oh, sorry.
So we were in Dallas, and we would walk like half a mile to get a Slurpee, and the guy was like, "We're out. Don't come here." I'm like, "What? How do you not get packed?" That is the most heartbreaking thing. Sorry,
7-Eleven was
just a
out
little
of
tangent.
Slurpees, man. That's like KFC being out of chicken.
It was
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a
He's
bad
like,
one.
The hell?
So junior high, I remember all the girls had a crush on science teacher, Mr. Bergeron.
"Oh yes,
He was
yes."
a handsome dude. He was a handsome dude. He was
Love
good
that
looking.
guy.
Yeah, he was. I didn't really know him. I didn't have a science class or anything. I remember there was like a courtyard or like a foyer in the middle of the junior high, but no one ever seemed to use it.
Ever. You
Ever.
couldn't, never. It was literally like lava. If you went out there, it's lava. You burn out. You touch it,
There
you're dead.
were
Was it
like
logged?
benches. I don't think so.
Oh, you can get to it from the library, I think.
That is so funny that you say that. I can picture it in my head right
Yeah.
now.
Like there's plants, there's benches. What else about? I remember there was, God, I think I saw one fight in junior high. Oh, in 7th grade, do you guys know the Reesers?
I know of them. I don't know them.
Okay.
I know of them.
So on the last day of school in 7th grade, they came down the 7th grade hall, hooded sweatshirts and sunglasses with a bunch of eggs and water balloons and just unleashed. And I know
Wait,
exactly,
in the school?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. And then I saw them down at the Smokers Trail later that day, and like after school, it's like, "That was you guys earlier, right?" And they're like, "Who wants to know?" I was like, "I thought it was cool."
Dude, in junior high, like in team sports, we were playing dodgeball, and I was like sliding all over the place and trying to jump on the ground and like stay out of the way. Well, I guess I was kind of coordinated, but not coordinated enough. So like someone threw a ball at me, and I went down on the ground and smacked my face head first. Didn't catch myself. Broke my front tooth out.
Oh,
All over the place, dude. There was
Alex, no.
yes, broke my whole tooth out. Larissa, right, the girl I had a crush on, she like tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, Alex, I'm pretty sure that's your tooth over there." She's like pointing to my tooth, dude, and she's like, "You better, pick that up." That's like the
That's
only
her.
thing she said to me.
That's her flirting with you.
I was like, "Oh my God, thank you, Larissa. Go and eat my tooth. Thank you so much."
Gall's over in the corner. "Hey, man, you're bleeding."
And I'm like, "Hey, Forster, that $50 for that pitch, and I could have used it for my dental surgery later on in the year. You son of a bitch!"
Oh,
Go
my
give me
God,
a
I'm
Diet
hating it
Pepsi
now.
and I'll call a doctor.
Yeah. Hey, someone get him an ice cold Dr. Pepper or Diet Pepsi. Put on his mouth, stat.
Let me have it first. It's still cold after I drink it.
Yeah. Hey, wipe it down. He's got Vanover's blood and sweat all over it. I need to drink that thing. And
You
don't
gotta
be a big
stop, I'm dying.
crybaby, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
No, hey, as I'm like, "Mr. Forster, man, I'm bleeding. I can't stop bleeding. I broke my tooth out." He's like, "All right, I'm going to let you go down to the office, but grab that gigantic 12-point rack of antlers and walk your ass down there."
Oh, man. The
that's
worst.
your time right there, dude. That is a comedy set. You need to revamp the Van Man comedy show.
The Van Doe show just needs to be about me just getting my ass kicked on every campus I ever went to in school. Domingo was there when I got knocked out at Bangor.
Dude, I was just a bystander. And I totally remember that was the first time I saw blood.
Domingo, tell Mike about. Mike was probably there, but tell everybody about that story if they haven't heard it on the What's for Dinner podcast, available on Podbean by Papa Doc.
Yes. So I was in like first or second grade, but I just remember turning around. I think you were in your Oakland A's jacket or a hat or something, and you just had blood running down your face, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, but like someone was helping you in the office. And yeah, I remember that's like one of my first memories of Alex Vanover.
Jake Green was taking me to the office. It was like Platoon. I was like Willem Dafoe, dude. I was just getting shot up on the soccer field, dude. And he was like trying to save me and bring me to Mrs. Bashir's office. But unfortunately, I had drinking 20 milks that day. So as I was profusely bleeding from my skull, Mrs. Bashir's was giving me a lecture about how I drank all the free milk. So I'm dying in her office as she's worried about her bonus.
Yeah.
Oh man.
These are the memories we live with, guys. These are what shaped us to who we are.
It truly is.
Mikey,
well said. Yes.
Mikey, tell us some more junior high stories. Come on, we need you.
This is going to be a very long episode.
It's fine. Let it roll.
That's what.
Okay.
It could be a two-parter. Could be a two-parter.
You know,
there you go. A saga.
I love lunch at junior high. It might be when we realized that you get to make all sorts of fun choices. And they had so many options. And I don't know about you, but I didn't care what they were. I'm getting chicken strips and ranch. Like it did not matter what was available. It's like, well, chicken strips and ranch. And it's the first time that you kind of had to make a decision of like, there's all these kids in there. There's 7th graders, 8th graders. And you got to figure out where you're going to sit. And so it was always easy because Alex was there. I could always find Alex. We could always have it. But classes never got let out in a good time. So I was in a class that was always seemed to be the latest to let us go to lunch. Like right to the bell. Like let us out 5 minutes early. It's something like 5 minutes. Give us that little extra time to get up in that line, go through it, get whatever we need. Because chicken strips are going to go. They're just going to go.
If I remember correctly, those lines moved really slow.
Oh,
incredibly slow. And
Domingo, they wrapped around to the band room, dude. Yeah, they would be all the way by the band room.
I don't remember eating lunch in the cafeteria at all. But I know we did because you couldn't eat anywhere else, right? Or out in the hall, maybe?
You could only eat in the cafeteria. I think you could eat outside. I remember lunch, and I had a math teacher named Mr. Prusmeyer, and he we had the weirdest relationship, guys, because he was my math teacher, but I would rip talk all the time in class. I would try to say funny shit, and he would be like Mr. Vanover, shut up. And I'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Prusmeyer, I'm sorry. And he'd be like, don't be sorry, be silent, right? So we had this weird like relationship where I think he really enjoyed me, but I think he had to pretend like, he was in charge. So he actually gave me his phone number, guys. I would call him. He would help me with math. Yes, he would help me with math over the phone. So we became very friendly. Well, Mr. Prusmeyer was in charge of monitoring the cafeteria, right? So Mr. Prusmeyer, I never saw this man actually eat a meal. He would never survive during the coronavirus stuff, Domingo. He would just reach his hand into the pickle condiment area and eat like 200 pickles a lunch period, dude. There's no way. There was no social distancing. He didn't wash his hands. He's licking his fingers. He's worried that I'm not going to shut up in his class. I'm going to call him when he's at his house. He's having a hard time because he's got this one stupid, fat, loud student who won't stop bleeding all over his classroom. And on top of that, he's in charge of monitoring the damn classroom. Meanwhile, Mike Richardson's in the line holding the damn thing up because he's weighing out the ounces of the chicken strips because he wants to make sure he gets the biggest one.
I'll wait for a fresh batch, says Mike.
I'm good. I can wait.
Mike thought it was McDonald's. He asked, I want a fresh batch of chicken strips, please. I'll wait.
Can I get the fries unsalted?
Yeah. Is this the same dining room visit? That was always another one.
And those cafeteria workers are like, oh my God, someone please give me a bullet so I can rent a gun, please. For the love of God.
Oh
man, those were You guys remember the little shop class thing we had to take with Mr. Brooks?
Hell
Mr.
yeah.
Brooks and Mr. Vigil. I was saying
yeah,
what
Mr.
I was saying
I
that we
thought
had
that was
drinkers as teachers.
high school.
Mr. Martin too.
Yeah, Bruce Martin, Mr. Vigil,
The tech ed class.
Tech Ed.
Yeah,
that was
junior
it.
high for sure. Mr. Vigil taught the computer end of it.
That was my first introduction to being a radio DJ.
You lucky son of a gun, man. I think I slept through that module.
I love that module. Like, I brought stacks of CDs, like Jock Jams, MTV Party to Goes, and like had like 12-inch long cut mixes, and like I don't even remember who my partner was, but I just remember being like, I made this tape and it's got all my jams on it, and just try to play it in the car. My mom's like, turn this off, but my mom bought all the music, so I was like, yeah, she didn't want it in the car.
Those were all. You were going to be as successful as your partner in those. Like,
So someone piggybacked off me then.
I believe it because I remember doing you had to carve a duck out of like the bandsaw and everything.
Make it a pencil holder.
Yeah,
Yep.
First of all, seventh
And the
graders
shell.
using a bandsaw that has no safety features at all. It's a real issue. But
And I don't think the teachers were in there with you.
no, they weren't. I remember
No.
carving this thing up. Going,
No.
I think I
They
could've made this
observed.
channel,
They
right?
observed through the plexiglass,
Yeah.
and they grade you. Yes.
So I remember we made these cars in Mr. Brooks' class that could they have like CO2 racers.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would put it in the back.
Yeah.
You would put it in the back, and you had wooden wheels, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Does that
And
sound right?
Well, mine won because I'm fast, but
I'm not surprised.
Because it's in the blood.
it's in the blood. But
True.
But I remember using that saw, and I had to change the blade like 3 times because I would turn it too hard. It was like, oh man.
You
'Cause that-
snapped the bandsaw blade.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You're so
something.
lucky that you're even here doing the podcast with us. This podcast, you should be dead. This should just be called
maybe I
Good
just
Times.
bent it. I don't know. It just wasn't.
This is the last good time, Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan should be here.
Ryan, you should be dead. Good Times with Alex and Ryan. Actually, it should just be called Good Times because I should have died on campus 7 times. Ryan should have died from the bandsaw, and Mike was weighing chicken strips and annoying the piss out of the cafeteria workers.
I want to make sure
I
that
almost-
ranch was still cold.
I almost died. I almost died in 2009 in a mosh pit at a Slayer concert.
Oh.
This dude, like, I fell down. I had a heat exhaustion, and this dude, I remember him picking me up and saying, like, somebody got water, and someone tossed him a bottle. He like mama bird me, hey man, you all right? Smashed my face a little bit. I'm like, dude, you fell down in the pit. Like, I'm like, shit. And I chugged that water. I was like, thank you, but if this is how I'm supposed to go, I'm doing it tonight. Thank you for your help. And I went back into that mosh pit and got down with Slayer.
Wow.
Dare I say that sounds like a good time? Huh?
I think it is. That was
Right.
that was first time. Yeah.
Ryan.
My one time I've almost died.
Ryan, you got some junior high memories? Lay it on us, dude. We're here.
I
wanna hear
it for the good times.
Yeah.
Gosh, I had all that time to think about it. I was just interested in your stories. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's really cool. That's really. Oh, my turn. Yeah, I went to class, did some math, went
Wow,
outside.
That's really
So,
good.
Ryan,
Right?
Ryan, you and my brother were in a grade, and then me
Yeah.
and your sister were in the grade below you guys. So, what was it like going to school with your sibling?
Well, I mean, it was fine. We didn't talk much. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. It was fine. It was interesting. Like she did her classes and I did mine. I don't know.
Like,
Hey, I was
out in
gonna.
the hall. Don't look
Wasn't
at
it-
me like.
I wasn't very sensitive. like I could have been a lot nicer to her. Like, hi, what's up? Instead of like, oh, hi. So, just
Mhm.
I'm taking responsibility here. But hey, your
Trying to
brother
remember that combo.
Delmar, right?
Yeah.
I remember him being like, I don't remember him a lot, but I remember him being just really nice, like one of the nicest guys I met. What's he up to?
Great segue. Delmar. So And I think nice is code for something else. No, I'm
No, no. But for me, he
No.
was. I don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, you're a former Bearcat. We stick together as I did with my friends. But no, Dell's doing all right. He's maintaining his health. He's been diabetic since he's in 6th grade. And no, he's doing all right. Just living in Coos Bay,
Yeah.
working steady. I think he works for like a weed shop now.
Oh, okay.
So
Hey.
that is a dream.
Yeah, good fit for dude. Delmar, I've said this before. I said it on your podcast. He was one of the freshest dressed kids at any school he went to because he always had like the best fitted that always matched his button ups. Like, did you remember him doing that, matching his button ups with his hats? I remember that.
And he would we all would rock the hell out of FUBU.
Yes, yeah, no, dude, and your brother, for the record, because I used to hang out a lot at that lunch table that he sat at when he was a junior, when I was a senior, because I used to hang out with Brett Bishop and Joe Gaines a lot.
Yep.
So we sat at the same lunch table together, and Dell was always like, I loved having him around because I would say anything and he would just laugh his ass off. So it was great to have him around because even if I said something stupid, he would make everybody else laugh because he was laughing his ass off. So,
yeah,
a great audience.
Domingo's the same way. Like, I remember in swimming, he was all about having a good time laughing when I was being an idiot.
Dude, the whole Ward family, dude. I want them all around me.
My little brother was a swimmer, Ryan.
Oh, sorry. Who was your little brother?
Leroy.
Leroy, I got him mixed up. I'm sorry.
It happens all the time.
Does it?
Yeah.
Leroy. Okay.
Dude, Leroy was dressed to the nines in high school too. He used to seriously. I think I remember him wearing a suit to school one time, like an actual suit, dude.
He got a job, like at 16 or 17 at the casino, and he bought himself a PS2, and he bought himself some of those wild rave pants, and was coloring his hair.
So he was like living his best life at 17.
Oh,
Good for him, man.
Best life in 2002 for him, yeah, man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. PlayStation 2 up in the ride with that Lorenzo kitty.
Oh, yes. Oh,
Speaking
I saw that.
Mike, what's up?
Speaking of swimmers, Dave.
Swimmer also.
He's the star swimmer. Dave.
Wasn't he also like the band major?
Swimmer. He was band major too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the face, gingerly, tall,
Yeah.
tall in the water.
So Dave, he came kind of late to us, so he came in like towards the tail end of grade school.
Yep.
And we were in Miss Hockman's class again, and it was kind of like a show and tell thing, and we were doing history. So Dave comes in like full Civil War regalia, and he's got a musket, and it's got a bayonet on the end of the thing. So he brought a gun to school, and I know it's an antique gun, but he still brought it, and he's like trying to showcase it and how you would load it, and he's doing the whole process, and he's like swinging this thing around, just and Miss Hockham is just like super nervous, like this is probably not okay, and somebody asked him, well, how accurate is a musket? And he just points it out the window, and he goes, see that bird right there? I could blow that thing off right here. Right here. I could just, and then he goes, if I don't get it,
awesome.
I just jam right into it. He was an Eagle Scout too, so I'm like, I believed it. Like, this guy could kill if he wanted.
He probably shot that musket on the regular.
I guarantee that thing had been fired within the last year. I mean,
Dude, Forster, Mr. Forster just happened to be walking by to the Diet Pepsi vending machine, and he's like, hey, hold on. Did you say you could hit that bird from 20 feet away? Let me talk to him after the bell rings. Yeah, go ahead, Hockham, and teach your way.
Oh my God, dude. Your Mike Forrester is just so stellar, man. Like, I haven't heard his voice in years, but I did a tour of the high school like 2 years ago just to go check it out, and I don't think he was there, but like I saw like a picture of him there, and I was just like, oh, that guy.
There was so many memories of him, and honestly, none of they're all fun memories. I mean, we were tongue in cheek because we enjoyed the guy. It's just so funny to think that he was so comfortable in his personality that he didn't care if he was talking to eighth graders or talking to boosters. I mean, he was just Mike Forster.
Dude, Forster taught conditioning class, right? So we're up in the weight room upstairs in the gym, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And Forster's like, "Hey, Vanover, get your ass over here. Come here, kid. Hey, I gotta talk to you. I don't want to go. My CD player's all the way down there, Vanover, man. So I want you to go down and get my CD book. It's my CD collection. And I want you to grab the first CD on the first page. You pop that in there and crank it up, and we're gonna lift weights. And it's a good collection. It's a great CD collection." So I go down there and I grab his book. There's one CD in the entire book that holds 100, CDs. It's Boston's greatest hits. That's it. Boston. That's all he had. And I said, "Mr. Forster, you have a great CD collection. I mean, you have so many CD to pick from. I mean, that's amazing. This is a great CD collection. You have so many CD. This is great, And he's like, "Were you trying to be funny, Vanover? That's a Diet Pepsi for sure, Go grab me one." No, he didn't say. I don't know. But he had one freaking CD in this book, and he was making it sound like he had a huge. I don't even know why he had a book that could hold 100 CDs if he had.
He could
have
kept it in the case.
The jewel case.
The jewel case, yeah.
So favorite.
Sorry.
No, you go for it.
Okay, so speaking of weights, when I was a freshman and I took weights class, because Dell was just like, "You got to take weights, man, pump iron, get chicks." Like, yeah, dude, no shit. All right, let's do it. But the class of 2000, I think that had like Matt Davison and them, all those real stud wrestlers. They would blast like metal and like Pantera and Metallica. And I remember like McKenna, no one gave a shit because these guys were really good athletes, and whatever keeps them pumped up, bring home that champion or whatever the hell. But
Dude,
that's just my 2 bits about weight room.
Hey, here's a quick Matt Davison segue. Since you brought up that wonderful person, so when I was a junior, there was a girl. I don't know if you guys remember this girl. She was in Ryan's grade, Kim McHugh. You guys remember this girl at all?
Yeah.
Okay, Kim was super nice, and as a matter of fact, like we had this weird flirtation. Like whenever I would see her, I'd be like, "Oh man, we get along. Maybe I should ask her out." But I was at the point where I hadn't had a girlfriend yet. Like Becky hadn't followed me around school yet, so I didn't have any experience, right? So Kim is in the home ec room, and she's like, "I'm going to home ec," right? Well, Matt Davison is coming out of Mrs. Burgett's room because it's the same hallway.
Yep.
I don't know why Matt decided to do this. He grabbed me in front of Kim McHugh and just started choking me out. Choked me out right there in front of Miss Burgett, Mrs. Snotty, Mrs. Stoffel, everybody, dude. And, after I tapped out and looked like a big pussy, he lifted me back up, and I went back into the home ec room, and, Kim never looked at me the same way ever again. It was over. Like, I got choked out right there in front of God and country. It was over.
I just
that
realized
was his way of flirting with her.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you think Vanover's attractive? Well, watch me kill him.
Alex,
Watch me murder him straight in front of you, and then you'll be more attracted to me after he's dead."
You've been choked out more than a jobber in professional wrestling. There's so many stories of you getting choked out. It's hilarious.
Justin Spring choked me out in the baseball locker room. Yeah, he choked. So Spring.
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah, he choked me out in the baseball locker room because he was like dating Sarah Walton at the time. And Sarah used to take care of my grandma at the Life Care Center across the street from Kmart. Well, Sarah got my phone number from my grandmother, and she started calling me. So Spring found out about this, and Spring was pissed. Even though they weren't dating, they were never dating. But Spring decided while I had my back turned, he was just going to choke me out to let me know that he didn't approve. So that was great. He could have just told me, "Hey, I like Sarah. Maybe you should stop talking to her." But instead, he just physically, put me down.
He should have choked out your grandma for giving her your number.
He shows up.
The wrong guy. You were in the line of fire.
He shows up in a full nurse's outfit, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Nurse Spring. I'm here to feed, Helen Combs her lunch, today." And he just chokes the living piss out of her.
Spring would be the only guy that would perk up every time he saw the Antler Hall pass and get fired.
Yes, he was quite the hunter.
He was, for sure.
Yeah,
I think that was my first dose of good old boy. Like, I remember those cats would wear camo to school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was all North Bay. You know, those North Bay kids. They're just all.
How it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty much all North Bay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, hey.
don't forget Sunny Hill.
Penny Hill Elementary.
I went to
Dude.
Sunny Hill for kindergarten.
Sunny Hill, Sunny Hill.
It's
Was that in
before
Glasgow?
North Bay.
Yeah, that was right out in Glasgow. That was way out there.
Ryan, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ryan, Jessica told us that Bangor kids were stuck up, but it seems like we have a consensus that the North Bay kids might have been the stuck up ones.
No.
Huh?
No,
No,
apparently,
they just-
or we were proving that we were just stuck up because we just called
because
them
we're saying
Hicks.
they're redneck.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the Bangor Bearcats, I guess we were stuck up. I apologize.
So I lived in Hauser before I moved to North Bend, before I moved to Broadway and Everett Street.
Oh,
And,
hey,
like, I had a couple, like the Sackett's were my neighbors. Todd and Tommy Smith were my neighbors. And like, I mean, there was, and Bryce Rich was out there. And like, I mean, there's just like, it's a different group of kids, but I mean, they're my friends and stuff. But good old boys.
now
Hauser,
that was
the Lakeside folks is what you got to watch out.
that house on Broadway. That was like the greenhouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it burnt down, didn't it?
Well,
Well,
so we were renters, and the person who we rented from sold the house, and we had moved like down the road on like 14th Street behind Matt Frommy's dad's his business there is like a block or two down, closer to the high school. But yeah, I remember a lot of people were freaking out. They saw our house burn down. Like, no, man, we moved.
okay.
We used to camp in Alex's front yard on Broadway, and that's the busiest street in town.
Yes.
All hours of the night, even people be driving by, and that's when you'd hear the loud cars. 'Cause I don't know what it is, but why are cars with loud decibels only out after 10?
I don't know. I don't know why we would have loud cars going around at the middle of the night.
Burning up.
Burning up, especially orange pickups.
Sprague doing drive-bys. No,
It's the reason why there's loud cars late on the streets is because no one's around. You can hear them, and it's their way of being rebellious.
Well, you can hear
Coos Bay, Oregon.
You can hear the ocean at night.
Yeah, hey,
So
in Coos Bay, if you put your ear up to a seashell, you hear a Ford. A Ford peeling out. You're like, hey, honey, grab that seashell. You hear that? That's a Ford peeling out on Pony Village parking lot. Isn't it beautiful?
oh man,
Dude, so hey, that same hill, guys, the house Mike just talked about, it was the first day of 8th grade, right? And it was September in North Bend, so it rained, of course. So I had laid out my brand new pair of Nikes and my brand new outfit I was going to wear to school, right? So for some reason, I decided I was going to walk down the side of the hill as opposed to our stairs. I, of course, slipped and fell on my ass and slid all the way down the hill to Broadway in my brand new outfit. I go back upstairs to get my outfit that I had already meticulously laid out for Tuesday. So now I got to go to my next, outfit in the rotation that early. My mom is just like barely awake. She's like, what the hell happened to your outfit? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I slid down the hill. She gives me the rap about how I should have used the frickin' stairs. Meanwhile, my mom goes back to sleep. She knows the clothes are just screwed, and she didn't wash them, so I had stains that were just, for day one. Only got to wear them one time. My mom didn't give two craps, dude. She didn't wash it, nothing, dude. So I got double screwed that day. It was just a really bad time. It was bad times with Alex that day. It wasn't good.
oh,
Yeah.
Alex, remember Fat Tim?
Yeah, who doesn't? Who doesn't remember
I
Tim?
don't.
Fat Tim?
Yeah.
Fat Tim was a legend.
Fat Tim.
A Marion and Everett and 12th Street legend.
He lived across the street from your grandparents, and in those duplexes, and
Right behind the mall.
We went inside there one time, and Fat Tim's mom was wearing a muumuu, and she was watching Bob Ross, and it smelled like water chestnuts in there. And I'll never forget that specific, just awful smell.
Mike, hey, I don't want to interrupt you, but tell them about what Tim had to be paid.
Yeah, so we ended up going to, where was
I think I knew Tim.
Taco Bell. We wanted to go to Taco Bell, wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So Tim would charge Alex and I a fee to cross Broadway because we weren't allowed to cross Broadway without adults. So he would be like, "Yeah, I'll take you guys across the street. It's going to cost you though." So we might have.
Hey, the troll toll.
It really was. We might have $5. Like maybe like I got $5, Alex has $5, and we're like in our head we're doing okay. So we could get like a burrito supreme, or I'm like, ooh, some soft taco supreme sound good. I could go for a few of those. And
Chili cheese burrito for 79 cents.
So instead, Fat Tim was like, "Hey man, I'll take you across, but it's going to cost you $3 a piece."
What?
So now, because he's going to get $6 for the food, and Alex and I are now like, all right, how many hot sauce packets am I going to feel somewhat satisfied after going across?
Yeah, he's like, here's the deal, Mike, Alex. You know, you can either have $0 at Taco Bell, or you can split 4. Either way, Fat Tim wins. Okay. and he pulled off his jacket, and he had a shirt that had a big FT capital on his shirt. Dude.
A big what on the shirt?
A big F and a big T for Fat Tim.
Oh my goodness.
No, dude. Fat Tim had a friend named Cliff. And Cliff and him would tease me all the time. And I don't know why, but I wanted to hang out with them, so I would always try to hang out with them, even though they'd make fun of me all the time. And this is like when I was like 10. Well, anyway, we were in this kid named Albert's backyard. And Cliff, I'd had enough. And I had been thinking, all right, I'm going to punch this kid in the face as hard as I possibly can, and I need to have an escape route because I'm not sticking around. I'm going to punch him in the face as hard as I possibly can, and I'm getting the hell out of here. So I look, and I'm like, okay, I can run through the yard, up through the house, and back. Well, I get the courage, and I just walk right up to him and punch him as hard as I freaking can in the face. He doesn't go down because he's older than me. He kind of like looks at me like, I can't believe I just got punched in the face. I take the escape route. I go back to my grandpa's house. Two days later, we had boxing gloves. Cliff came over to kick my ass. My brother's like, "Hey, you and Alex box. You want to kick his ass? I'll watch him. I'll watch you kick his ass. Okay?" But little did Cliff know, dude, I had been boxing since I was like 6. So Cliff and I are in the backyard. My brother is reffing. I kicked the shit out of Cliff in the backyard. So Cliff didn't get his revenge. I just got more revenge on him. It was the greatest day ever, dude. I totally whipped his ass in the backyard. So he came over thinking he was going to take it to me. My brother's like, "No, lace the gloves up. You're going to box my brother." I totally owned him, dude. He never bothered me again, dude. I'm telling you. This is a true story.
I've laced up with some neighborhood kids in my time. It's a thing.
It is a thing. If you had boxing gloves and you guys had any kind of problem at all, boxing gloves would settle it, and you'd be buddies afterwards. Like every time it worked.
That's how you earn respect.
I had no problems with Petey, and he beat me pretty bad.
Wait, was that at my birthday party? Did you box, Petey?
And I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I do. Right.
This kid
Who did I box that day? Didn't I box Thompson?
I don't remember. I had this weird bandana thing, and I was reffing, and
there were
audio video.
Oh, audio video. There were so many boxing matches that happened in your grandparents' backyard.
Oh yeah, we taped it off, dude. We taped it off with Scotch tape around the trees, like set up a yard.
It was so official.
We did backyard wrestling at Dave Hardy's house, and I powerbombed him through a pre-cut particle board.
Awesome.
I wore a luchador mask. I remember.
Oh, dude.
My stage name was Soldier Doja.
That's a great name.
And Dave was a Hardy boy because he's Dave Hardy.
Oh, of course.
Or Hardcore Hardy, I think is what he went by.
Dude, Hardy ended up saving Shobar's life later on at the high school, dude, when that guy busted out that knife.
Yeah. Right? That was a pretty massive altercation that happened, and there was blood spill and a face crushed inside the Bond, which is now a Macy's or whatever the hell it is now. Yeah, Dave Hardy crushed some kid's face inside that store, and they were local high school heroes because there were some kids that were from the neighborhood school or whatever. I don't even know what they were doing there. Like, I think they were. I
don't remember either.
Probably with some seedy kids. They were probably hanging out with some seedy kids, and I used to run with those cats. I still see Dave. I don't see Sean so much.
Yeah.
Then I kind of lost connection. That's something to tell off the air here. But yeah, that was a neat little altercation.
Yeah, I
There was
just
a knife.
remember Shobar getting stabbed, and Hardy was there, and Hardy like took the knife away from the kid and just beat him down or something. I remember this.
Like he spun the kid around. Like they ran down the Smokers Trail through the mall. Dave spun him around in the Bond. I think it might have been Macy's by then. Spun him around, just decked him and dropped him.
Dude.
Yeah. Good times. Those are good times.
It's funny when you drive through town now, and everywhere you look, you have a memory. Like, there's just a memory in every corner of that town.
Oh my gosh.
Something that
Yep,
reminds you of something.
totally.
And it's,
Totally.
you know, that's the blessing of us growing up in a small town like that. I mean, you know everybody, you know every story, and 99% of them are just hilarious. And we can chat about them like this today.
I have one last story about junior high before I like kind of, you know, I am done talking about it, but like, you guys can talk about it too, but like whatever. But the story I have is Mackenzie wanted to ask out a girl, and
it's the best.
Her name was Lena, and she was really popular. She was actually friends with Jonna and Junia and all those really popular girls.
Lena Steinvik?
Yes,
Yeah.
Lena Steinvik, yes.
Her brother Ellen was a friend of mine.
Yes.
She was pretty.
She was very pretty.
They were a cool family.
Mackenzie was like, dude, I don't know how to talk to girls, so can you write a note for me, and I'll read it over the phone, and I'll ask her out.
Popcorn player.
Yeah, yes.
this is the
So I write a note. I'm like, oh my God, he's giving me an opportunity to write a note. I'm writing this note. So I write a note, and he calls her.
She was at Abby Peterson's house that night. You remember?
She was at Abby Peterson's house. They had just got back from skating at the skating rink. So
Classic Friday.
yeah, Lena's mom was like, hey, Lena's at Abby's. Here's Abby's phone number. So we call Abby's house. Well, Lena gets on the phone and starts talking to Mackenzie. So Mackenzie reads the note that I wrote. And she's like, hey, Mackenzie, you know, I'm so flattered, blah, blah, blah. I met this guy at the skating rink. If things don't work out with him, I'll get a hold of you.
Oh!
So she never, ever got a hold of him, ever.
Damn.
So we have a running joke. Every time I see Mackenzie, I'll be like, dude, things must have worked out with that dude at the skating rink, man, because she never got back to you, bro.
She might have lost his number.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going with that
There you
one.
go. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Yeah, she ghosted the piss out of him, man.
I wonder if she
Oh,
still
man.
lives in the neighborhood. Just go walk up to her place.
The
Dude,
best
my
was-
mom. Oh, go ahead, Mike.
That note too was, you know, it was so smooth.
It was
But it
for
was-
like a 12-year-old. It was pretty good.
What was on it? Come on, anyone remember?
Go, Mike. You probably remember better than I do, dude.
It was so Mackenzie had no idea what to say or how to talk, and Alex and I are kind of pretending like we know what we're doing. Again, I had yet to talk to Jonna, so I have no idea what I would do. So Alex is like, I got this. Yeah, I'm the Casanova of the group. Let me write down some things. So he starts writing down this like script, like he's supposed to read word for word. Mackenzie hadn't practiced reading this at all either, and we're kids, so the handwriting isn't beautiful. So he's reading it and kind of stumbling over it as he's going, and he's like, I would really get to know you a little better, and maybe we can go do something sometime. And just kind of like that. And he was reading it at that pace, and it was just silence on the other phone, because this was back in the day when you could pick up every other phone in the house and listen to them. So we're like,
Yeah.
searching
Oh,
other
for
ways
sure.
to like, let's all listen in on this call and see how it's going.
It was basically like all four of us right now listening in to Mackenzie.
Exactly like that.
What?
Oh,
Poor
try
Mac.
not to laugh. Oh.
Poor Mac. That was heartbreaking. Oh,
Hey, but she didn't shoot him down.
no, she didn't. It wasn't a no. Soft no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a compliment sandwich, but he never got 2 pieces of bread. He just got like the opening, like, and then the meat of it, like maybe, and then just no chips, no soda, nothing. Just,
No
you know.
sides.
Yeah, nothing, dude. It was kind of a shit sandwich, if you want to be honest about it.
And then she moved away and out of his life.
Yeah. Moved to parts unknown. Who knows where they're at? You can't even find, dude. If you try to Google her name, because Mackenzie was trying to figure out like what she's up to now, you can't even find her in Google, dude. She just doesn't exist.
I think our problem is we don't know how to spell Steinvik.
Yeah, could
Who-
be.
Who do we know that has a banger yearbook that we could possibly refer back to her last name? All four of us, maybe, huh?
I haven't owned a yearbook since I lived with my mother.
What, you don't have your Banger Bearcat yearbooks, dude?
No, I am dying to find them. I don't even own like my high school yearbooks. My brother has a bunch of my stuff back home in Coos Bay that he just totes around with him when he moves and stuff. So, he's got like some like debris of me. Yeah, the Steinvicks, like my little brother was really good friends with her brother, Elling. And yeah, they lived up the street from us. They were on like Main Court down the street from like the Greens and the Del Prees. I think the Del Prees lived next. Did Jake?
The Greens,
The
the Opelts. Jake Opelts lived across the street.
Yeah, I still am in contact with them. But they lived up there. They were a fun family. I remember his dad worked for Sauce Brothers. Ed. His dad was Ed. Big old tall dude. Like a California sequoia.
I think we figured out a great idea, and that's we got to find Lena, and we got to get Lena and Mac on the podcast, and they can talk.
Oh man, we need to see what the hell happened that night.
And APB needs to go out. Everybody just find where you can find her.
Put a bolo.
Yeah. All points bulletin, dude. Hey, one quick thing about the Lena thing. My mom, dude, was crazy, and she caught wind that Mackenzie had a crush on Lena. So my mom used to take us for cruises in the car. We'd go get a big gulp or a Slurpee. So my mom knew Brenda Steinvik. They were friends. They were friendly from Bangor. So my mom's like, oh, dude, I'm driving straight up into that little cul-de-sac up there. So where Lena's house lives. So my mom rolled all the windows down while Mike, me, Mackenzie, and a couple other people were in my family's Jeep. She started blaring on the horn of the Jeep, dude, and yelling, Lena! Lena! Come outside. Mackenzie loves you. And like just whipping donuts, dude, in that little
That is hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
my
awesome.
mom put Mackenzie on blast that night.
She did.
It's a bold woman.
Everybody loved it, but Mackenzie, obviously. But that was one of the best memories of my mom. That was crazy, dude. She heard immediately, like, oh, Mackenzie likes Lena. We're going straight to Brenda's house, and we're gonna like put Mackenzie on blast.
I love that is a great Sherry Vanover story. That is a fantastic one too. I think that would be fun to try to see if we can get Mackenzie matched up again.
You're just like one of those drama shows where let's match them up. It's been 20 years. Let's see what they have to say about each other.
What if she married the guy from the skating rink?
Yeah, dude.
That's the whole thing. We think maybe it happened.
She's got like 19 kids with the dude, and like just...
and they own a skating rink, dude. They don't have a car. They just rollerblade places together.
Well, we just happen to have her right now. Let's bring her on.
All of a sudden, she jumps in the chat, dude. A fifth screen pops up right below us.
Oh gosh, that would be
just
the
freaking
best.
haggard and exhausted from rollerblading for 20 years in a row.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Ryan, dude, you got anything else on junior high? You guys, anybody else got anything?
I have a small story.
All right.
7th grade, there was a bad girl that liked me, and
This already sounds awesome. Keep going.
oh yeah, she would write me notes and like fold them up all cool and all that stuff. The original text messaging, and she would talk about how she always had. She would basically be explaining to me in this note. She wanted to kiss me, and she had a nick fit, like she was smoking cigarettes, and. They would do like random locker inspections sometimes. She made me hold her pack of fucking marbles. Like
what? In junior high?
Yes. The story gets better, fellas. So my mom catches wind I'm hanging out with a bad girl that has a crush on me. She wakes up me and Delmar to take us to Coquille to go watch court. Like we watched adult court and then like minors.
Okay.
And guess who is there in the minors' court? Bad girl that has a crush on me. She turns around and goes, what are you doing here? I said, I don't know.
I don't know. My mom brought me here.
Yeah. Trying to scare me straight. Like,
dude.
So, yeah, that was fun. Good times right there.
There you go.
I think random locker inspection for Alex would be a nightmare. That guy would be there telling me, "Okay, son, open up your locker." I don't know my combo.
Yeah, I don't know my combination, dude. I have no idea. What are you trying to hide?
There,
yeah, they're like, "What are you trying to hide, Vanover?" I'm like, that I'm dumb? I don't know.
There's a dust bunny that's been in there since '96. You're good.
Somebody stacked my locker like months prior, but they're still waiting for me to open it, but I'm so dumb. I don't know my combo. He's just like 3 months later, he's like, just waiting. Never happens.
Oh,
Yeah. I only remember the locker inspection happening like once in 7th grade and once in 8th grade. And I think it was because like there was suspicion of someone having something.
Dude, so flash forward to high school. This is 100% factual story. Do you guys remember Jonathan Bates and Joe Barber at all from high school?
Yeah.
Yep. Bates was tall. Bates like 6'5", big dude. Barber's like 5'6", little guy, dude.
Yep.
They shared a locker, and for some reason, I don't know why my locker was in the science hall, so it was like in the sophomore hall, right? But I think I was a junior. Anyway, to make a long story short, my locker is right next to Bates and Barber's locker. Now, I'm out of class a little bit early, and I can smell brownies cooking. Like brownies. I can smell brownies in the science hall, dude. I'm like, what the hell is that smell? Bates and Barber show up. They open their locker, dude. I hear a ding. Bates had an Easy Bake Oven in his locker, dude. He was making brownies. I'm telling the truth, man.
Sounds like Bates. Yeah.
Bates had an Easy Bake Oven in his locker. He was making a pan of brownies, dude. That's a sophomore.
I heard he's like writing movies or something, or did something with film.
Bates was on Dr. Phil because he lost like 200 pounds, dude. Bates is jacked. Bates is like swole.
Wait, so he was on Dr. Phil. Like, we could look that up.
You could look it up. Jonathan Bates
Ryan's
was on
already
episode
on
of Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
And, dude, I actually remember
Share
the
the
quote
link
from that
in the
episode.
comments.
Dom, dude, check this out. He's like, now, we got Jonathan Bates here on the show. Okay, I'm Dr. Phil. I got my son Jay. He's a cut-up. He's a cut-up in the family. He tells jokes. Anyway, this is Jonathan Bates, okay? He lost 200 pounds. And anyway, we're going to bring on Alex Vanover, who had a locker next to him, okay? And he's going to tell everybody, okay, that he made brownies, okay, during high school, okay? Tune in at 3 o'clock. Don't be a donor, be a doer, okay? That episode, dude, that's verbatim what happened. I remember that, dude. And Bates showed up and made brownies for the studio audience, and it was a hell of a show.
It was like how to cook brownies in 3 easy steps.
I'm telling you, dude, he had a full sheet, dude, and they weren't the crappy brownies. They had a nice little buttery top. Barber's job was to get the milk, dude, but I had already drinking all of them at Bankers, so we had no milk for the brownies.
Now, I think those boys were from Hauser also.
Oh, good, dude. Well, they knew what was up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's those Hauser folks, I swear.
Yes.
North Bend
anything
is
else,
snobby. Listen to us. North Bend is snobby. No.
Dude, this episode
we're
is actually
freedom
going to be longer than the Titanic, but it's all right. Ryan, I think this is a two-parter for sure.
Well, we don't have a cut in it.
It's a 3-part miniseries.
We're just gonna have to go with it and do another one between.
Hey.
We'll make it a super long one.
I'll tell you, just how important those 2 years were. It's weird because a lot of kids, as we all talk to people, like they all say, "Oh, middle school." They had 6th, 7th, and 8th. Right? Well, no, we had that quick junior high jump, straight into high school.
Yeah. Thrown to the wolves.
And you kind of set your friends up for high school in junior high. That's where we all kind of got together and got to know each other and kind of combined friend groups and all hang out at Mackenzie's house all the time. Poor Nancy. I just probably didn't sleep for at least 6 years. But it was such a fun time for all of us. And there's of all these stories, there's hundreds more. And if you invited some of the other friends, and there's more that they'll remember, and we'll charge our memory. But they were fun times, that's for sure. Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times, gang.
Right.
How much would it cost to get the theme from their show Good Times?
Dude, probably a lot more than we're making
What?
for Teespring.com. I can tell you that much.
We can
What do you
you can
want?
take that money, maybe get it like for a year, and just be like, hey, I got the show. I just want to use the song. I
That
think
might
that'd be
be
fun.
the most expensive bass riff to get of any in history, because you think of all the major songs that have used that, like Rapper's Delight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dynamite!
Behind. Good times. Yeah.
Well, there was the Good Times TV show, too. With freaking,
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
Good times.
Yes. I watched, dude, Good Times. I related to that show because they were broke as a joke, and so were we. So I like definitely related to that.
In a child line. Good times.
Well, we do have our own TV show.
Yeah, you're on it right now. This is the special 3.5-hour edition of Good Times.
It's not a season finale. It's not a season premiere. It is just a middle of the road episode.
But it happens to be longer than.
Yeah, this is episode 31, dude, and this episode is actually longer than Junior High was itself on Junior High.
This is longer than all our other episodes combined times 20.
Oh my gosh.
Ryan, dude, in the show, dude. We got another show to film. In the show.
It's still in the show.
Thanks for watching, everybody, listening. We really appreciate it. Thanks for being part of the Good Times gang. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe or follow button. And, in YouTube, it's the notification bell. Bing, bing, bing. Hit that thing. All right. Be sure to follow Papa Dom over on Instagram. The Gram. Is it Papa Dom, right?
Papa Dom the Beard.
Papa Dom the Beard, baby. Go
It's a good
follow him.
follow, too, dude.
There's a story about that. I met an English lady. Sorry to take. I'm going to take a short amount of time. I met this English lady at a bar. She goes, "By George, that's a majestic beard. May I caress it?" I said, "Absolutely." Excuse me. And she goes, "I've got a nickname for you." And I was like, "Well, I'll go by DJ Dom." I was like at a plateau in my DJ career. She goes, "I want to call you Papa Dom, the Beard." And I reinvented myself. And Nina Paulson, wherever you are, thank you so much, because it brought spirit back to me. And I mean, yeah, follow it on the IG, Papa Dom the Beard, amateur hammocker right here.
All righty.
Hey, Ryan, does Mike have anything to plug? What do you got,
Oh,
Mike?
yeah, Mike, you got anything to plug?
No, I don't have any social media, but if anybody would like to reach me, go through Alex. He's my proxy.
I'm Ruben Pepper's proxy. What the hell does that mean? Just don't worry about it. I got this.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Mahalo.
Good times.